Like and subscribe. This is the Nightly Fix, our live Foolish Club Media. Please head to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media, where you please like and subscribe as we try to grow this thing. We can do what you like and subscribe if you have not done so. And I hope that next time that pretty young lady, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, some bride you met at the bar or the club, I hope when she grinds on you that she has those little doo-doo pebbles in her ass. And you get a little bit of it.
Little rabbit turds.
Yeah, I hope she has some of those. That's what my hope and prayer is if you don't like and subscribe. Them little doo-doo pebbles, you know what I'm talking about, that get stuck in your ass on accident. I hope she's grinding on you and rubbing and backing it up on you and that is what's going on in between the sheets right there. So just like and subscribe so you don't have to avoid that. Listen, there's a lot going on. I'm excited, Stevie. All right, baby. I look up here, baby. We got some college football action going. I got Nebraska and Cincinnati. Fake Mahomes.
What's the score? I haven't checked.
12-3. We got 13-3. Going into the halftime. They're about to come out of the third quarter at Arrowhead, and so they're in Kansas City playing the game in the house that Patrick Mahomes really built. But they're in there doing their thing. Patrick's there. I saw Brian Cook, the former Bearcat, there, and then of course, royalty, the couple, the modern day Princess Diana and Prince Charles, and I guess that's not really modern day. I guess it was just the 80s. But you got the new royal couple, America's royal couple, Kansas City's royal couple, your royal couple, Travis and Taylor. They're in the building. Taylor Swift is in Kansas City.
Everybody tried to capitalize off of that this week. Like even the KC Mo like public transit was decorating the buses and stuff.
They damn well should. Damn it! I mean, look at this. She is literally. What do you think she did today? What do you think she did today? You think she's been in Kansas City, or this was just they just flew in? What do you think? They probably went over to. I feel
like they've been here because they're waiting. They practiced yesterday, right? And so they had an off day today. So I feel like they've just been here probably because he proposed here, didn't he? So
yeah.
I feel like they've just been here for the last couple of weeks, and then she'll probably travel to Brazil, I would imagine, for next Friday night's game.
Hell yeah, he did travel for her ass. She got it, so she can take that.
She's traveled a lot too. So I think.
Shut up! She's taking her ass to Baltimore and Vegas.
I would imagine they've just been hanging out here. When they've gone out in the past year in Kansas City, they typically we buy out whole places so they don't have to.
I'm about to say, where the fuck you think they went? You think they sleep? You think they went walking on the planet?
They've been hanging out at home. She cooks. She's a baker, I think. So maybe they've just been at home and enjoying the quiet time to themselves. Like I think they hit the place. Like Travis goes to practice and he comes home and treating it like a 9 to 5, and she's not really doing anything right now besides like sitting at home, maybe getting ready for her album that's about to drop, and they're just hanging out and spending quality time together.
I think he got off from practice, which was light, came home, and they went cruise Nolan. That's what I think. They went out there and just hit the turnaround over there where the old country buffet used to be, and they hit the turnaround and took it back down the other way. Got down there by about Truman High School and spun that bitch right back around and just cruised Nolan. And if they did like I used to do, they probably stopped over to that pizza street, that CC's Pizza over there and really hunkered down and got after it.
You think she would break off the engagement if Travis tried to take her to a pizza street?
No, maybe a CC's. Maybe a CC's.
CC's where she draws the line.
Yeah, she draws the line.
Pizza Street is better. I grew up with the Pizza Street down the street from my school. We used to walk there.
And Pizza Street, they include the drinks. into their
They
buffet.
do. They do, yeah.
You're trying to get your ass for everything separate. But no, I'm certain they probably had dinner at what is 1587 Prime open. It doesn't matter for him, it is. So they probably went out there and had dinner.
I do think it just
spot. Right? Yeah, I knew they were having an open. They probably had dinner over there, and now, which I'm sure she saw coming a mile away when she was dating some of these other dudes that she was dating, that she would be sitting down in Kansas City on a random Thursday watching Cincinnati, Nebraska. That's exactly what she thought she would be doing, and she is doing it.
Do you think she's asked any questions about what's his face, Dylan Raiola, and why
is that Pat?
He just dresses like Patrick Mahomes. Why he's pretending to be Patrick Mahomes? How many questions do you think she's asked about Nebraska's quarterback?
Yeah, and I hope Travis has told her. Yeah, this kid's wearing a year-long Halloween costume. He's just staying in his Halloween.
Pat changed up the haircut. He hasn't even changed his up.
Yeah, he's not being authentic with it. So he's being old school Mahomes. He should have been due for a haircut. He's actually playing all right tonight. Do him a nice little touchdown pass. I do want to get to the big news of the day. Oh, Micah Parsons. Oh, Lord, Jerry. But I wanted to let you know I had a moment on the elevator today at work. I'm certain I scared a white woman. And
I scare people in public all the time, but it's because I've been told that I can be aggressive at times, and it's not.
Yeah, it wasn't
like a weird aggressiveness. It's just more like I'm angry and not friendly sometimes.
Well, I think it's her problem. We're standing there; it's the two of us, and she had been there before I had. I went there; she had pushed the button already. Bam. Elevator popped open. I went and got on it, and she didn't budge. And so then I held it open, like my arm out, held it open. And I said, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, you coming on?" And
she didn't want to.
And that lady
didn't want to with you,
Serda. That lady just there's nobody else on the elevator. There's nobody else there. That lady just stood and acted like I was not standing there. I said, "Oh, did you want to come on?" And she just did this.
I was just looked
up, and then
adios.
And then she went and then she walked over and pressed the button again on the other side. That's it. Damn.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's some shit that I might be unpleasant about. It's so weird, honestly.
I said, "Damn!" I said, "All right."
I mean, that's borderline offensive. Like, obviously, that lady.
I don't know what she thought I was going to do to her on that elevator, but she just stood there. She stood there. She just did just like I was not talking. I said, "Damn, you hit it first." I mean, it was. I was like, "Damn, this." I said, "What does this lady think I'm going to do to her on this elevator?" She stone faced. I said, "Here, ma'am." I held the door open. I feel like a real jackass.
Yeah. Try and be friendly and kind.
Yeah. But do you know what it was is I was put in one of those moments where I wish I could have it back. Like I wish I could go back and be ready for it. Well, fuck you, you ugly ass bitch. I didn't want to ride this elevator with you.
I do feel like you kind of gotta be careful though in the state of things and what we're living through right now. Like, I've had these conversations with Aaron. My particular complexion is not the most favorable thing right now in our country, as ICE is pretty much rounding up anybody they feel like, whether you're a citizen or not anymore. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I would. Like, I don't know if I could hold back if I got caught in a situation like that. And like, because I think I would snap if I saw.
You don't think in front of me. So you're saying if you were me, you wouldn't need a do-over. You would have said something right. You'd have said something right then and there. You confused me when you brought up the ISIS thing there. Go ahead.
Well, I was just been like, all right, well, have a wonderful fucking day, and close the door.
Shut up, fatty. I didn't want you on here anyway. I did. I was like, damn, man. Because I did. I said, man, she just didn't want to get on with me. I'm telling you, man, I felt like she thought I was about to abduct her. The way I thought she was gonna take off. She came in when she went over there and pushed that button again, and I started. I almost wanted to get off with her and get off and just let it keep opening. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? But I went on up, but I was just like, damn, man, this lady she does not want any parts of me. I looked nice too. Had a polo button up, had a button up all the way to the top too. Just got me I just got me I just got me a BLT wrap. I'm fresh out of the barbershop. Just got a haircut.
Looked as clean as you possibly could.
I mean, I think it's a rule. Anybody who has clear frames, like you're safe to get on the elevator. Anybody, I don't know. Maybe she's had a previous moment that scared the shit out of her. All right, Serda. I'll be honest with you. This unfolded quickly. We started to get reports like, oh, the Cowboys are open to trading Micah Parsons. And then within the hour, they've traded him to a conference rival, a rival they've had for years and years, the Green Bay Packers, for 2 first-rounders and a 29-year-old, soon-to-be 30-year-old Kenny Clark, defensive tackle, that Jerry Jones referred to as a Pro Bowl interior defensive lineman today in his press conference. And there's a lot of places to go here, Serda, with the thing. And for me, I'm going to go in this, and I'm going to let you know right from the jump, Serda. I'm going to do this weird. And to the listeners and the people viewing us, we appreciate you. Like and subscribe, Foolish Club Media. I am going to present a great argument here, Steve. And I don't believe it. It's going to be a great argument, but I don't believe this applies to the Cowboys. Because I think we can look at this, Steve, and say to ourselves, is this really a bad thing for the Cowboys? Are they really fucked? Are they really screwed? Are they going to be able to mess this up? Because if we look at it, Serda, there have been big trades here recently in the last, I'd say, half decade to decade, to where we've seen a great player anywhere from receivers to corners to quarterbacks. We've seen that great player go. And the team that lost that great player, even that great player in their prime, we've seen that team at least break even on the trade or outright win it in most occasions, right? Like if we look at the Broncos and the Seahawks trade, Russell Wilson, everybody, oh my God, they're going to win that sucker. And then the next thing you know, they get 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, Noah Fant, Drew Lock, and they absolutely destroy the Broncos in that trade. And now Seattle looks like they're a team that's potentially moving forward with all the things they got out of the Broncos trade. The Texans, they traded Deshaun Watson. They got 3 first-round picks. They got 2 fourth-round picks. They got a 3rd-round pick. Man, they got Will Anderson. They got a whole host of motherfuckers that have added to this team.
Yeah.
They clearly destroyed the Browns in that trade. One that broke even, that Rams-Lions trade. The Rams obviously they got Stafford and they won a Super Bowl. And then the Lions got Jared Goff, but then they got multiple first-round picks. They use those picks, Serda, to get not only Jared Goff, who's come around, but all of those picks attached to him. They got Jameson Williams, Jamar Gibbs, and Sam Laporta. They got the surrounding weapons to turn that in. We witnessed the Tyreek Hill deal where they got multiple picks, and those picks turned into McDuffie, Sky Moore, an offensive lineman, and then Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Right? Like and they've won those trades. And you can look at this and think, all right, we've seen this a lot. There are other ones out there. We've seen this a lot. The Jamal Adams trade was awful for the Seahawks. I don't know how much the Jets made out of it, but we've seen this where the team that loses the great player still is able to capitalize and actually down the line win the trade. And not even really down the line. Some of the shit's immediate. Some of the shit's within the next couple of years. Yeah. My only problem is, Steve, though, all of those other teams planned for this. Yes. Like they planned for this. I could look at this and say, you know what, Dallas has done all right drafting things, but they didn't plan for this. They just woke up because if they planned for this, Steve, they should have got a better haul than this because they'd have done it before the draft or in March. They didn't plan for this. They're just flying by the seat of their pants. So I think that, and I don't think they got enough. How did Jamal Adams get 2 first, thirds, and all this shit, and Micah Parsons just got 2 firsts? So that's my thing. It could work, Steve, but I don't think these guys have a plan for this.
Well, one, I think I feel really bad for Cowboys fans because Jerry's senile, and somebody's got to just take this thing away from him.
I don't think he's seen.
But so it's them waiting until a week before the regular season starts to do this. And after they had spent months and months saying we won't even entertain trade offers, and then finally
Jerry got it for 3 years. I got him for 3 years under contract.
Jerry finally got annoyed enough with Micah Parsons that he was willing to listen to an offer. Well, now it's like, okay, well, your hands are tied. If you really want to dump him, you're going to have to dump him. And Jerry can try to spin by the way, in his press conference they held at 6:30 p.m. tonight, which you don't typically see owners and general managers hold a press conference immediately after trading a player. But this is the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. Jerry kept calling him Michael. I don't know if he was just being an asshole or he actually thinks that's what his name is, but he kept calling him Michael for some reason.
He has been doing that for a minute.
But like the Cowboys put themselves in a situation where their most important player, not named Dak Prescott, was not going to probably play this season if they didn't figure something out. And instead of just paying him like they should have, which you do not see a player of his caliber come on the trade market. Everybody's saying like Khalil Mack, and Khalil Mack's a great player, but like I think Micah Parsons is better than Khalil Mack like ever was. And Khalil Mack was really, really good in his prime. But Micah Parsons is a generational pass rusher. And it's not just like his pass rush ability. It's like just his raw, insane athleticism and like just general like versatility as a player. Like he is one of the most versatile players in all of the NFL, on top of the fact that he is one of the most devastating pass rushers in all of the league. And so to not pay this price tag for this caliber of player is absolutely insane. And to do it and like get the draft pick compensation back. Well, yeah, you got 2 first-round picks, but you traded him to a team that was already a playoff team. And you traded him to a team that, with the addition of Micah Parsons, might now legitimately be a Super Bowl contender.
Well, they're in your conference.
And so in your conference, and so you get 2 first-round picks and a guy that's Kenny Clark, who is a fine defensive tackle, but is 29 years old, gonna be 30, like isn't a superstar caliber player by any means. And so you're gonna get mid to late round first picks, and mid is like the absolute most optimistic outlook on this thing, unless the Packers just somehow like implode. And
which is hard to believe.
You made one of the most interesting youngest teams in the NFL go from a playoff contender to a legitimate Super Bowl contender out of your own just pride, like out of your own pride and not willing to be like pushed around by a young player because you don't understand the age of young players and podcasts and media and having things that you're involved with off the field. Like, I think that's what Jerry Jones hated the most about Micah Parsons, is that Micah Parsons is like a businessman outside of football. He's not just a football player. He's not one of the most exceptional athletes in the world. He is also like has this full-blown career outside of football, and I don't think Jerry loves that stuff.
I don't agree with you. I think Jerry absolutely loves that. I think Jerry loves stars. I think he loves it. I think he loves the attention that Micah brings. Steve, I just think he thought he had taken advantage of him and had a deal, and now he's trying to run this agent to him, and he feels like I had a deal and I'm not budging off of this shit. And then he just took it up a notch and thought that he could continue to run this thing and thought that, all right, I've got the money thing in the back pocket. And they were good. They were good. And this backfired on him in a major way. I think he's got Dion. He loves those guys being stars. He wants them to be stars. This just absolutely backfired on him in a major way. The thing is, to me, that gets me is, as you said, they should never trade a player like this. I'm with you. I generally think, hey, you draft a dude like this, number 12 overall, to turn into what he did, and you are the one to develop him. You do that so you don't have to trade him. You do that because you develop and you make him that. Like, I don't think the Chiefs wanted to trade Tyreek Hill, but at least in that space, they planned for it and they had an idea for it. This could make sense. This could make sense. Like, Steve, I would have, I don't know if I would have agreed with it, but I could have gone to a space if Jerry and Stephen and Will Clay or whatever his name is, if they sat down, Steve, and they said, you know what? We're looking at the Eagles right now. We're looking at Washington. We're looking at Detroit. Ooh, I don't know if this team is close to getting to where they are, and we're really handcuffed if we put out another $40+ million a year to a player. And where are we at right now with this team? Are we better than Washington? Are we better than Philly? No. So let's use him, our biggest asset that can bring the most back. And maybe we can get a big deal where we have 4 or 5 draft picks, or maybe we bring a player and we do this and we build this way. I could hear that. I'm not saying, sir, I would agree with it. I could hear that if that was the conversation after the regular season. But that wasn't it. They
talked about trading Micah like last year, which I think is bullshit, but whatever.
It is. You've been doing nothing but saying you have a deal with him and you have the money. They got the money to pay him. It just got so bad.
Owner in the league.
Yeah, it just got so bad, sir, that it was over. They had messed things up so much. It is wild to me. Wild to me that this happened. I would pose this, and I think this is a different direction to potentially go in this, is how impactful is Micah Parsons? Because Tyreek Hill is a great player, and he's been a great player since he's been with the Dolphins, right? I mean, he had been the best receiver in football for a few years, and he did impact greatly, right? Tua, when healthy, was an above average quarterback that then got paid $50+ million. What is Micah? Is Micah a game changer to you? Is he a swing player to you in the way where he will make a difference? Because I've gone down some of these trades, like what's my man, the corner, Ramsey? He went for 2 draft picks.
Sure.
Was he a swinger? Frank Clark, they won a championship.
I mean, Jalen Ramsey helped the Rams. Like,
I know he helped the Rams, but was he someone that you looked at and were like the Rams couldn't have done it without him? Like, did you feel?
I think he was really significant to that secondary that year. Yes, but I think it's even different with Micah Parsons because, like, we talk about like there's only a handful of guys in the NFL that can wreck games, and you talk about like Chris Jones and how many times we've seen him do that, and the big moments that he's come up and made the play when you needed it the most in the playoffs. Aaron Donald, like in the Super Bowl.
So you think he's in that?
I think Micah Parsons is that type of player who
he hasn't shown that though. He hasn't shown that.
Well, he also hasn't found himself in those situations that much because
he's been in playoff games.
They've been in playoff games, sure, but he's been on teams that didn't have a lot of other guys around him. Yeah, he had DeMarcus Lawrence, but like the Cowboys defenses weren't like insane. Like he didn't have a lot of other guys around him. Like the Packers are young and talented. There's other guys around him that will give Micah the ability to do all of that stuff. Like, yes, Chris Jones is the difference maker for the Kansas City Chiefs, but Steve Spagnuolo orchestrating everything and the other playmakers that they have allow him to do that in those biggest moments. And I think Micah Parsons can be that. I don't think Micah Parsons has always been put in the best situations in his career, but has still managed to thrive because he's such a special player.
Yeah, he's played 4 playoff games. He's got 1 sack and 8 tackles in his 4 playoff games. And they've had some moments where they've needed him to come up big, and I don't know that there are really moments where it stands out that he has. Listen, he's 26.
You agree that the Green Bay Packers right now are a much better situation than the Dallas Cowboys have been.
I think they have a much better chance to be a more complete defense. Yeah, I agree with that. I was just going to say, at 26, I will take my chances that Micah Parsons, at some point when put in those situations, would come up big, right? I don't think Max Crosby has ever done it, but I would take my chances with Max Crosby. I don't know that I've ever seen Myles Garrett really take off in a big moment. Got to have a sack like Aaron Donald did or Chris Jones had. I'd take my chances though. Yeah, believing that they can.
If they were in the right situation, like yes.
I'm just saying. Clearly,
I just think that stuff is so circumstantial too, because you have to be on a team that's good enough to get to those big moments. And the Cowboys have been a playoff team, but at no point during any of those seasons was anybody like the Cowboys are going to go on a run and win a Super Bowl.
Like, would you clearly we know that the Broncos trading for Russell Wilson was a complete disaster, right? We know things like that was a disaster. We know Jamal Adams, that was a disaster. Would you say that it has been a success for the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill? Would you say that would you say that was a win-win for both parties?
I think his first 2 years there, yes,
because they haven't done anything. They haven't won anything. They made
a playoff game.
2 of them,
but I don't think that was even like Tyreek was a large part of those playoff seasons, and I think that they got what they needed from him, and it was their other mismanagement that has led to them not being able to capitalize on that in any way. Like I think it's been a success for them. Now, if they were smart, they would probably move on from it. But the smart teams are the ones that say, listen, we'll give you, we'll concede that, maybe you're going to get 3 or 4 years of elite level play out of this guy. Yeah. But all we're going to do is just try to stay young and bank on our ability to draft and evaluate. And if we hit on this, and if we're as good as we think we are at it, then we're going to continue to find players who contribute in a meaningful way to what we do. And that's why you see the best teams are really, really good at this stuff. That's why the Ravens continue to build and add to their rosters. The Packers have been really good at this. The Chiefs have been really good at this. The Rams have been really good at this. The Buccaneers have been really good at this, despite the fact that they still have to figure out their long-term quarterback situation. There's some teams that have been really, really good at this stuff. And that's why I'm questionable about the Bills long-term, because the Bills have been fine at drafting, but the Bills haven't drafted difference makers the way that the Chiefs seemingly always do, the way that the Ravens seemingly always do, the way that the Rams seemingly always do. There's some teams in the league that are just a lot better at evaluating these guys and finding the guys that they want and finding the guys that can make the difference for them. And so Tyreek Hill was a big success for the Dolphins, really, but he didn't get you anywhere closer to actually being.
I was going to say it's not team. Yeah, I feel like Parsons to the Packers, could be wrong, is going to be a different thing. I think he is not only going to put up the production like Tyreek, I think it is then going to take the Packers to the next step. Like they were very close 2 years ago from getting to an NFC Championship game. They were in a playoff game. Hell, we saw the number the Eagles did on the Commanders and the Chiefs in the championship games. They played them a lot tougher than arguably the toughest game that they had. Maybe the Rams game was tougher, but one of the tougher games they had. I don't think this will be a situation where he just shines personally. I think it is a shift. It has changed how I view the NFC. I think it is a shift because I think he will help so many guys on that defense who I think are really good players. With the addition of him, helps them look better than they are. Like Rashawn Gary feels like whatever you see from guys like George Karlaftis or guys that are like D Ford, who was on the other side of Justin Houston, like this has a chance for those guys to impact them and to take their game to a whole nother level.
It totally changes my outlook on the Packers this season because I think the Packers I think Matt LaFleur is a great coach. He's a great play caller. I think they have a great staff. They've done a really good job of drafting and developing, and that's always been their philosophy. Their biggest issue the past couple of years, and again, they have one of the youngest rosters in the NFL, and they continue to add guys every year. Like they add contributors through the draft every single year. Like they don't just simply whiff on draft picks as often as a lot of other teams do in the league. Like they're really good at this. But their biggest problem has been they haven't hit like legit blue chip players. Like they haven't hit like smash home run superstar caliber players. And I think Jordan Love is really, really good. And I think that there's enough there to build around Jordan Love and put him in a great situation. They're hoping that Matthew Golden, their first round wide receiver in forever, will finally put their wide receiver room over the top because they've just had like solid guys there for years and years and years. And they've been chasing like this superstar player since Devontae Adams. And so they're hoping Matthew Golden can be that guy for them. And then the defensive side of the ball, it's just solid contributors, young guys, developmental guys, like finding like solid guys who can step in and play really well. And then you add a player of this caliber who totally changes everything for all of those guys. Like you mentioned, Rashawn Gary and like a Lucas Van Ness, like those guys don't have to eat all of the attention anymore. Micah Parsons is going to get that attention, and Micah Parsons is still going to find ways to win. And now all of their matchups just got that much easier. Like, I think it totally changes the trajectory of the Packers this season and catapults them to Super Bowl contender, because now all of a sudden I'm like, shit, this Packers defense could be for real. On top of that, I think their offense is going to be one of the 10 best offenses in football this season. Like, they could legitimately be a Super Bowl contender with this kind of move.
I think a couple of things with this trade for Micah Parsons. I think him getting away from all of the mess too is going to improve him. I think a lot of off the field stuff, and it's not like off the field like you think of it, but I mean just like, you know, stuff that he says anytime he spoke, because he was a Cowboy and he was arguably the best player for the Cowboys. Anytime him or Dak spoke about anything, it was a story. It was a big deal. Now he is going to another, you know, legacy team in the NFL, but being a Green Bay Packer comparative to a Dallas Cowboy is different. I don't think now every time he says something, it's going to be a story in news. At least now maybe early, maybe, but I don't think it's going to be a big story like that, like the Dallas Cowboy orbit and anytime he said something, there was something read into it. I think this is going to really, really help him in a big way to be with the Packers and be just kind of cool. And I think it'll be much more about ball than it is about other stuff as he was with the Cowboys.
And I do think that, like, I don't think that Jordan Love is there yet. Like, Jordan Love still has to get better as a player But I think that like what is helping Jordan Love is that he's got such a great play caller in Matt LaFleur and that coaching staff, and he's got the guys around him. So they just need Jordan Love to like be a little bit safer with the football, stay healthy, and just continue to like progress as a quarterback and be a smarter quarterback at times. And Micah Parsons is going to change their defense. Like they're good enough to make real noise now. And I think like legitimately good enough now to where like I'm not even sure the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFC North anymore.
Yeah, that's something to really think on when you start to look at this roster. And like for me, the last thing with this is like I think Jerry Jones, for everything that he has done, he has brought 3 championships. I know they were 30 years ago, but still, he's brought 3 championships. There was a dynasty on his watch. He has made the Cowboys relevant all the time, even when they've stunk. There's been a period, Steve, where they have drafted really well and they have put together really good rosters. There is a period of that, and they're the most valuable franchise in all of sports in the world, and everybody knows the Cowboys. They're big. They're big time. But he is not going to be somebody that is thought of, to me, in that city with those fans anymore as everything that I just said that owner has done in that time period.
Yeah.
He is going to be remembered, and there is going to be a smear on how you think about Jerry Jones for Dallas Cowboys fans. I'm serious. Like, it is
this Cowboys documentary to get review bombed after this trip.
Like, hey, I'm going to assume that right now today, Cowboy fans are feeling much more closer, that their feeling for Jerry Jones is much more closer to their feelings of Nico Harrison than it is to somebody who brought a dynasty, 3 championships, made them the most valuable team in all of professional sports, built them a state-of-the-art, great facility that he paid for himself and taxpayers didn't have to pay. I don't think they're remembering him as that dude. He is over there, right there next to Nico Harrison for Dallas fans. And that is wild. Wild that Jerry allowed this to get here. And I don't know what's going to happen, but somehow I don't think he's old and senile with people, but I don't, like some people think you said it, and I think that's a thing going around. I just think it is time that he needs to relinquish some of the things. I think his way of doing things, primarily just him being the guy, is giving him problems, and giving their organization problems.
Yeah.
Because to me, I think it's like, I know you don't rock with this, but this reminds me so much of the way that WWE was being run. And because Vince is just running the shit the same way he does and has always done it. And now he did something to force himself on out of it.
Torch. It's like Succession. You got to let it go sooner or later, Jerry.
But he's like Vince. You're going to have to pry it out of his cold hard hands, dead hands. Is what I don't know what I just said, but you know what the hell I meant. And Steve, they would be in a better spot in 2025 if Stephen Jones was running more of the situation.
Yes, 100%.
And just like the WWE, which is thriving right now, is thriving because his son-in-law has taken over the damn bitch in Triple H. I think WWE be in a tough spot because Vince would be doing shit the same way that he's always done. And I think it's sad. I think Jerry should be celebrated in that city. And this, to me, is the last straw. I think he is going to be. They better find a Cooper flag. They better find them something, because they ain't going to forgive his ass for this. Oh, my God, Jerry. What were you thinking? Bye.